Hello scholars, welcome back to the Kemet Maasai Academy. We are continuing our series of motivational videos for students. As usual, I'm reading from the Student's Master Plan, Hardcore Rules for a Lifetime of Success. The topic that I'm looking at this morning is love is not the greatest thing, integrity is. In my almost 13 years as a private tutor, well, when this book was written, it was 13 years, a whole lot more now. One of the things that I have found most amusing was to observe two students who had a crush on each other. This was usually among those in the pubescent years, but also occurred with the adolescents whom I taught in my CSEC classes. A crush is a natural pheromonal response to a member of your species, usually a member of the opposite sex. To my observation, the experience is usually innocent and fleeting, very enjoyable for the perpetrator, and very annoying to the victim if the feeling is not mutual. As a teacher, I generally did not interfere because I felt no need to. If nature was allowed to take its course, within a few months, sometimes even weeks, the crush burned itself out and no one got hurt. The real danger comes when students start telling themselves and each other that they are in love. 1,000,000 to 1 times they really are, and something beautiful may eventually blossom from it. But the vast majority of times, they are not really in love and do not have the maturity and stability for commitment. And they set themselves up for hurt. Sometimes entire lives are wrecked and ambitions derailed. The person who really loves you will want you to complete your studies and establish yourself firmly in your chosen career. The person who really loves you will not want to distract you from your work or lay claim to chunks of your time that should be spent at honing your skills. The person who really loves you will not pressure you into compromising your moral values and put your life at risk. Love is patient and will wait. Lust demands immediate gratification. Being a student is a full-time job, and anyone who loves you will respect your job. Even if they truly love you and claim that they can't wait, remember that love is not the greatest thing that there is. There are a couple other things higher and deeper than love. Integrity, self-respect, self-reliance, and ambition trump love any day. Of course, this is my opinion. There are others who will tell you love is the greatest thing in the world. And I'm not saying that love isn't awesome. It is. But to me, I will choose respect over love any day. Respect me. Even if you don't love me, I will take the respect over the love. Right? Integrity for me is a more powerful thing than love. A powerful driving force for me than love. So if somebody is going to tell you, oh, I love you so much, I can't wait, don't allow them to derail you. If they really love you, they will wait, because they will know that your education is the most important thing for you right now. Now, as students, students go through the natural stages of their emotional and physical development, which includes developing feelings for the opposite sex, and in some cases for the same sex, right? Developing feelings of wanting to be with the person, wanting to be around the person, and this is all part of the natural development, and this begins as early as age 9, 10 for some children, right? The minute puberty begins, we can expect the change in the attitude towards, like I said, whether it's the opposite sex or the same sex. Because prior to that, children just see each other as children. They play together, they argue, they fuss, they make up, they go through all of that. But when they hit puberty and beyond, they start looking at each other in a different light. The bodies are developing, the emotions are developing, the hormones are going haywire in their bodies, and in addition to that, they are exposed to so much adult content. As much as we try to shield them from that in our own homes, some way they just become exposed to it, right? And so we have to bear that in mind. In the love songs that they hear, the songs they hear on the radio playing, and it might not be playing in your house, but they hear it. They might be traveling on the bus, on the taxi, in the supermarket, wherever they hear it. The music videos that come out, these are heavily sexualized. And in this day and age where children have access to the technology that adults have access to, we want them to have phones for their own safety so we can contact them. But with that comes the opportunity to go on the internet, and we have to be monitoring, we have to be shielding, but we can just do that to that extent and no more. So we really just have to face the reality that there is exposure and there are the natural changes occurring within the body. So for me, when I've intercepted so many love letters in my class. I have intercepted so many love letters. If I were to, I discard them. If I were to keep them, I'd probably have a box full. And most of them are just very amusing, They're just very amusing. Of course, these children take the emotion very seriously. And they can take it seriously to the point where, they're going into depression. I've seen some students go into heavy depression, especially if they are rejected by the other person, the other child. They can start exhibiting some of the same tendencies that adults exhibit when they are rejected. Trying to bully the person, trying to make the person feel bad, and withdrawing and threatening suicide and all that kind of stuff. Some of these children take this, they take it to heart. When I was growing up, we had crushes. For me, it was all just fun. It was all just so amusing to me. I had a crush on almost every lead singer of the 70s singing group, particularly Russell Tompkins Jr. of the Stylistics. Nobody could tell me that I was not going to marry Russell Tompkins Jr. when I was 12, 13. You could not convince me that I would not marry this man. I didn't even know what he looked like, right? I just know that I love the music, and so I associated the music with the man, and I was quote unquote in love. But even at school, 10, 11-year-old, we would have crushes on the other guys in the class. We would hold hands, we would sit and have lunch. That to us was our relationship, right? That's the extent that we took it to, just holding hands and smiling and giggling and the works. And at high school, same thing, you'd have crushes on your teachers, because these are persons who are in authority. You look up to them. And it's a natural thing for youngsters to develop this kind of emotional attachment to persons in authority. So teachers, pastors, doctors, anyone who comes into close contact with teenagers and young adults, we have to be careful, because they will develop these kinds of emotional attachments, and some of us abuse that. We abuse our power, knowing very well that this is a phase that they're going to pass through within months, but some of us really abuse it, and to the point where some of these young lives are really derailed physically, or just emotionally, but it takes a toll on the youngsters. And I always encourage my students, listen, go through the emotion, ride through it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a natural process. It's your body's natural reaction. It means you're growing up, you're healthy, you're normal. Just don't let it get to the point where it becomes an obsession and then you want to be in a relationship. You are not ready to handle a relationship. Physically, emotionally, financially, you are not ready to handle a relationship. Many adults struggle to handle a relationship, let alone a child or a young adult. Just coming into yourself, not even fully understanding what you are about, right? Remember, in a relationship, you have the other person's emotions that you have to take into consideration. Everything you do know affects this other person, and you are having now to balance that with your academics, which is very difficult to do. And for some youngsters, they just cannot cope. It's just too much. And unfortunately, if they are faced with a choice, they choose the relationship and the academics suffer. So if you find yourself having a crush on your classmate, on your neighbor, you're young, experience the feeling, do what I did, just be amused by it and just enjoy the feeling. Most cases it will pass within weeks or months, and then you're going to find it's happening again with somebody else, and that will pass. It's part of your natural development. All right, don't make too much of it. Enjoy it, don't make too much of it. Don't get into the heavy adult stuff that will derail you. All right, if you have been motivated by this video, just share it so other students and parents and teachers can be motivated as well. And remember, the Kemet Maasai Academy has motivational videos for students. In addition to that, we have mathematics videos from grade 4 all the way to grade 11. This is something that you need to take advantage of. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so that you'll be alerted as soon as a new video comes out. Share those mathematics videos with your friends, your neighbors, your classmates, your siblings, anybody who you feel can benefit going through mathematics classes and struggling or just need that extra guidance. Share those videos as well. I'll see you in the next video.